What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to the Olive Drift channel. Today, I just thought I'd go over a few things on the RX-7 that I got to get fixed before I drive it next. And so one would be when I drove it at Winton, I bent the ball joints actually bent. You can see they're meant to be straight, but they got like a 15-degree bend at the end of them there. Over here, you can see, not great. Not great, bent on both sides. So I've lashed out and bought the Power by Max lower control arms set, which is like $1,400 or something, but basically replaces this whole arm, and they're extendable up to 3 different lengths, so you can set them up the way you want them, and they come with the ball joint on the end of it and everything. So yeah, had to order those. Already, new package just arrived. Much excitement. Been waiting for this for a little while. Open it. That's not like the picture. FD RX-7 front lower control arms. You can move the sway bar, that's the sway bar. You can move the sway bar in or out. You can move the coilover position in or out. You can extend the track in 3 different settings. Super adjustable. Height adjustable ball joints, so you can adjust the height, for your bump steer. Pretty sweet. Part shop mats. There you go. There was none in stock in America, so I had to get them from New Zealand supplier. So hopefully I don't break them and then struggle to get them again. And what else happened? On the LFD? The other thing I got to fix is in the diff. Let me show you. I got this. It's a spacer thing. This is a solid crush sleeve spacer, which needs to go into the diff because. Let me get the torch so you can see. When I wiggle the wiggle, stay there. So if I wiggle, I don't know if you can see it. Basically, and chewed out the front seal because it had play in it, and basically just all the diff oil came out and went all over the exhaust and everywhere, and made a lovely burnt oil mess. So fix that by putting in a solid crush sleeve, so you get it machined to the correct length, and get the backlash and everything set. And then once that's in there, she can no longer move. Of course, that means something else will break, won't it? But we'll wait and see what that is. Probably the diff casing. But yeah. So there's that, and turbo's blowing smoke. So, got to get the turbo rebuilt, I think, and maybe try an oil restrictor into the oil feed line on the turbo, because it's running pretty high boost. It's just blowing it out the old. Well, it's pretty old. It's been sitting for a lot of years. That turbo probably gave it to me. It's just been sitting on the shelf for like 5 years, so the seals and everything have probably gone all hard. So yeah. That's what the go is with the FD. It's up on the hoist, and I'm waiting for my lower control arm to arrive next week, or this week coming, and then I'll pull the diff out, send it off, and get it done, because I don't have a lathe to turn that thing down. So, yeah, but today, right now, I am fixing a little mistake I made at round 1 of the Vic Drift Championship a couple of weekends ago. managed to come off track and plow through a ditch and smash my intercooler into my radiator. And she's not real happy. Basically tore the whole front of it off. Pushed it back. This is the back. This is the front. And you can see I glued it with some JB Weld to try and get back on track. Well, I did get back on track. Qualified 14th or something, but I spent the entire practice session fixing the car, so I didn't get any practice. Then it started raining. Basically, it was fixing the car in the rain, and it was a horrible day. And didn't drive well. I won one battle, and then got knocked out the next one. So, new radiator. But I got to fix everything because she's all a bit intercooler. Crushed all the piping, crushed the ends of the intercooler piping. It lunched all the mounts for the radiator. They're basically mangled as heck. Like I had to disconnect my sway bar to actually get the radiator back in, and I couldn't reconnect it with the radiator in there, so I ran no sway bar. So generally it was just horrible, but we had to go anyway. Didn't fix the radiator leak with the glue, kept leaking. I only did like 2 laps, and then I needed more water in it, or coolant, but I only had water at the time. So what we're going to do is make new mounts, mount new radiator, see if we can tidy up this intercooler setup. There's no real point in buying more stuff that we don't need. It works. It was working, so don't buy shiny things when old dirty things still work. Waste money. Anyway, stay tuned. Alrighty, so where we're up to with this bad boy is the radiator wouldn't fit in the hole because this car's been crashed a few times, and the chassis rail on this side is like kinked in, so the actual gap between my chassis rails is too tight, and I can't get the radiator in here. So I need to use old trusty Porta Power. If you don't know what a Porta Power is, it's basically a mobile hydraulic ram, which you can sort of set up. This is just the pump, and then basically like a jack, really. It just jacks things apart. So this is a piston, and it's got a hole in the end of it, which you can stick in all kinds of attachments. They just go in there, and you can like put that up against things like roll cage bars and stuff, and jack off it, and other extendy bits like this piece. Put that on there. I'm trying to show you with one hand. Can't do it. Anyway, you get the idea. You can add bits on. It's got all these attachments, big pads and things. So it's got the same round hole, and they all connect together, just like Legos, really. This is a handy attachment. It basically spreads apart. It opens up. So if your guard gets crushed in, you can shove it in there and jack it open. And it's got a big rubber foot thing if you want to don't want to damage any paint. Jacking off. But yeah, super handy, especially for drifters. I'm going to have to use this on the back of the car because I've actually got a bit close to the wall as well and smashed in the rear tail light again. So that's pushed in. Need to get that pushed out because my boot doesn't shut properly. It's holding the boot up there. So get the Porta Power in the back, put it up against the cage leg at the bottom, jack out. That's what I do. Keep this little shell running. It's got a few years left in it yet. So I'm going to shove this thing down against the K-frame somewhere, something like that, and start jacking this corner away from the K-frame. Oops. I need 2 hands to do it, so unfortunately I have to set you guys up on the stand or something. And stay tuned. Alrighty. So I got the thing set up there a bit cumbersome because they're quite heavy, and you sort of have to hold it in position at each end carefully while you get it set where you want to have it. So you can see, and I've got it jammed against the corner of where the subframe bolts to the chassis rail, so it should be pretty strong there. And then on the other side I'm jammed up against a bolt sticking out of the end of the chassis rail there with this pointy bit, and we are about ready to give it to it. So let's just we can do some one-handed pumping. It's very hard for you to see. Well, to give you the view of it moving, but it's difficult to hold the camera and not move. No. More, it sprung back quite a lot. Alrighty then. So, you can see I was leaning on it pretty hard just here. Pumped it out super hard, but she's kind of hard for you to see, but the chassis rail is like straighter now. On that side, pumped it out. Our trusty porta power. I had to space it out with a solid block of alloy. Jammed it up in the corner down there. So yeah, that's opened up now. So I'll try the radiator again and see if that fits. Hold on. Get out of the way. Whoosh. Pretty optimistic. Got it. I can go back in there now. Happy days. I'm gonna have to make some custom brackets because the other ones are all lunched. So many. Whoosh. Pretty happy. Whoosh. Stay tuned. Alrighty, so I think I can actually salvage the factory radiator bracket. So I just twisted it back straight because it's like this mad. It's got these mad grooves pressed in it. It's pretty solid, so I needed to like get some leverage on it to bend it back straight. And she's pretty much in line. Not bad. Just got to flatten this bottom bit here with the old handle. Oh. Smackies. close to 90 degrees. Should be. Probably won't fit on the car because it's too straight. But once your car's bent, things don't tend to go back on. Anyway, let's have a look-see. Alrighty, so the radiator is going to fit in there now, so I've got to make some brackets for that. But I also want to, on this car, change the intake pipe for the turbo, because it's got two tight bends in it straight off the front of the turbo, and it doesn't make the doses because it's got too many bends, and it's also cast aluminium, so it's a pretty thick wall. So if you want your turbo to make all the dosey sounds, you've got to have as long a straight section as you can straight off the front of the turbo. The longer you can have the straight section, the more dose you'll get. So, but because it's I've got to change the intercooler pipe so that I can get the intake pipe straighter. So I need to make this bottom section, extend this up so that I can tilt it up, bring this bend upwards, give myself more room under there to get a 3-inch pipe on the front of that turbo there. So when you do that, it's all about the cool sounds. So I've got some 2-inch pipe, stainless. That's stainless as well, it's just painted black. So I'm just going to cut that up, bring that up, maybe cut off this alloy bend and change the angle of it and weld it back on. So this is basically flat across the top here, and then I can get a straight intake pipe on there. And I've got a new pod filter as well, the old stainless mesh one. Get rid of the old dirty, this hasn't been changed in years, look at it, it's filthy. So get rid of that, get the flows on there. Those things sound sick too, the stainless mesh ones. They get a bit more air through them, so they don't have a soft material in them, the paper filter stuff, which dampens the sound. So it all adds up. If you want the mad dosey sound, you got to try and stop all the things from blocking the sound. So obviously when the sound waves come off the front of the fans or whatever, they hit the bend, and then every time it goes around a bend, it deletes a bit of the sound. Anyway, carry on. Stay tuned. Alrighty, so pretty much found the perfect 2 items in my pile of junk. So it's just a 3-inch. It has a slight bend at the end of it where it's cut already, so it sits pretty much bang on in the right spot. And I had the silicone reducer in my hose box, kept from whatever project I was doing before. But so that's nice and straight, in line with the turbo, so the sound can come straight out. The aluminium pipe is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of tensile, kind of rings. Like when you look at that ring to it. So it's kind of tensile, I guess because it's been stretched or whatever. So more so than the stainless. So it kind of, I don't know, I think it doses better. You get the sound better through it. So the turbo flutter is what we're referring to. So that's that. So I've just got to unbolt my high pressure, or the pressure side, my turbo, bolt on snout, and cut it off and re-weld it. So stay tuned, do stuff. Oosh. Dirty, oily weld. Beautiful. Very unpleasant. Just have to go slow and let the welder do the cleaning as best it can, but well, pretty oily. You can see the aluminium's like brown from all the oil that's soaked into it over time. There we go. Gave it a bit of a blow with the air compressor to cool it down a little bit, so we can bolt it back on. Whoosh. Radiator is fitted back in. The brackets work, standard brackets. And a little bit crooked, but not bad, not bad. Sorry, you can't see. Lights terrible. Anyway, pretty happy. MX-5's back, ready to rumble. Gonna shove the hoses on, fill it with coolant, ready to roll.